Well, it was named Pit River because we used to dig deer traps along game trails or along the river. They'd dig a nice deep pit and line the bottom with spikes, and they'd cover up the top. Well, when a deer comes by, it just falls in that pit, and you come back and you harvest it up. Well, when the settlers came through, they didn't know any better, and they're following the river, and they lost horses and oxen that way. And there were so many of them that they named it the Pit River and slapped that name on it, and slapped that name on us as well. I would say Wawa Ajumawi, which means the big river people.
We hunt traditionally for time immemorial. You know, our great-grandfathers took their sons and a few hunting areas that were still the way we were taught to hunt the ridges of certain creeks or a certain mountaintop, and this person will wait here, you know, and flush them out here, you know, just a different way we were connected to that area, knowledge of the land, and whether deer would come out, how we would circle around and someone would push them this way and run you right into the deer, run right into you. Yeah.
A lot of times when I was growing up, we ate more deer meat than beef. And so you see TV and you see McDonald's and Burger King and all these fancy stuff, and you want that, but I never got that when I was young because we were poor growing up, but the land provided for us. So when you don't have beef or nothing like that, you go out and you get your deer meat, I could see a decrease. And that's why we're doing that antelope project. You know, we got to do our part to not just take, but to provide a better environment for the game to multiply. Especially with our antelope, because antelope, they don't like to jump over the fence, they'll go under the fence. Well, along the highways, Caltrans and private landowners like to put up hog wire. The adults will make it through that, but those babies try to dart through that hog wire square and they get stuck. We had 15, almost 20 baby antelope killed. It was a while ago, but they were stuck in that fence, and that's a perfect example of, you know, the obstacles they face. We're removing the hog wire, put a smooth wire on the bottom and raise it up a little bit so that they can have safe passage. And yet we can still do livestock with cattle and all that, you know, just make it easier for them to pass through.
I think traditional ecological knowledge has a lot of benefit in two different ways. It represents knowledge that may have been absent or not as readily available to people that are newer to a certain type of habitat or region of the country. I know in my experience, what I've found is that when I'm developing a scientific program or project, working with tribes, we've worked with other tribes as well in addition to Pit River, we've really found that their understanding of the land and the traditional processes has really helped us better understand the questions that we should ask.
I don't go out and just shoot, target shoot and all that stuff. I don't ever do that. One, bullets are expensive, but it's not a toy. You know, I'll go out and I'll sight it in, make sure that it's ready for working. I look at that as like an axe. If you play with it, you're gonna get hurt. You know, it's the same way with a gun. There needs to be some better control and regulations on that, I believe in personally. I mean, when I look at a rifle, that's a tool to me. That's a tool that needs to be respected, because if you don't respect it, it can hurt you, it can hurt somebody else. You can give it a bad shot to that animal, and that's the last thing you want to do is to put an animal that's given its life to you and make it suffer. So you treat that rifle as your most important tool, and you only use it for when you're hunting.